Hi guys, this is Reed, and I just wanted to go through some of the clock projects I've done over the last year. I'm going to start with my latest one, and then I'm going to work backwards. This is a 3D printed countdown clock, which just gives me the days until June 4th. And there's a circuit board back there with a bunch of stuff on it. You can kind of see the back of it there. And it's USB powered. And there's a coin cell to keep the time. I have a light pipe pressed into this, and this light pipe was also 3D printed. You can see there's little raised areas in which light is blocked from passing through. Instead of having each segment as its own piece, I kind of put supporting pieces to help me assemble it and kind of make it go easier for myself. So this device has a few different modes. This is the temperature, humidity, time, which is a little bit off, and days into June 4th. That's the temperature sensor back there, and that's about it for that one. Laura requested I make this, so I had to do it. Here's my next clock I want to show. It's a little bit bright, so I'm going to turn down the brightness. So you hit the set brightness button, and you hit decrease until that's a little bit easier on the camera. The time's also incorrect, so let me just go and see what time it is. That clock says it's 6:52, so let's plug that in. I'm going to go to set time. So this is set in military time, so we want 18:52. And set time. I'm going to go 6:52. You can also set the color. So if you wanted red, blue, green. This is a fading color, where it kind of goes through the color palette slowly. But I like to keep this one in white. So we'll do that. So that's kind of how you operate the clock. It's pretty simple. There's a PCB on the front, 4 screws to sandwich it all together. There's like an 8 or 6 millimeter spacer in the middle here to help the light diffuse and give it more space to diffuse in. And on the back, I have a link to this website, revision number, date. So this is about a year old, it looks like. Directions to change time, brightness, and color. And that's about it. Oh, there was an option for a different power input connector instead of the USB, but because it's bottom entry, it's not very too useful. So that's that clock. Let me, oops, forgive the mess. Here's a slightly bigger clock. In this clock, each 7-segment display is identical to the last in terms of the circuit board layout, and then they'll kind of populate differently, and then they're all connected together with right angle connectors on the back right here. So these connectors kind of do a good job at holding it all together, and then on the first unit we have power and the microprocessor and everything. To control this clock, there's only 2 buttons, and you have to push these buttons in a special combination to get into certain modes, to set time and change color and that type of stuff. Again, we have a 3D printed spacer in between the 2 PCBs to provide area for light to diffuse. Okay guys, so now in the basement, I want to go through some of the other things I thought of. So here's a spacer that was a little bit too thin, and I tried to also make light pipes out of clear plastic, and those just didn't work out too hot. More spacers. I guess I can tear this one apart. Yeah, let me pause the video. Okay, I'm sorry for that delay. So here's a spacer for the small clock. It's all one piece, and that's about it for that. These PCBs, the front panel has 2 sides to it. This side has a right outline to it, and this one doesn't. I think that it looks a lot better without the right outline. So almost all the ones I use show this face instead of this face. Here's the PCB, and this would just simply sit on top, just like that. And then this guy goes on top again. As you can see, let me show you first. Some of the 3-hole components need to be accounted for in this spacer, such that we don't hit them with the plastic and provide interference. And I think the last thing I want to show in this video is what happens if you don't have a thick enough diffuser layer in there, or like a thick enough gap to allow the light to diffuse. You get, like a dot here, dot here, dot here. So the gap in between this is just 1.6 millimeters, and it's not I mean, you can still see the time, but it's not evenly filled light. So that's the purpose of these. Anyway, I guess I should show, excuse me, one more just to wrap up this entire project in one video, because I think I'm done with clocks for a while. And let me get it out. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't actually get it out. I just I'm getting a little bit sick, and I wanted to blow my nose. So this is my box of completed projects. I'll get to this in 1 second. So here's like a Tempo T. I guess we can just try to turn a few of these on. So that battery's dead. Here's a Tetris game. That battery's dead. I think it's going to be a trend here. Tempo Projects are... Oh, that battery's barely alive. It looks dead, though. More Tempo Projects. Oh, that one's flashing. Oh, here's the most important one. Oh, please be alive. Battery's dead. Anyway, the one I wanted to show you was this one. And this is where my clock project started. As you can see, it was homemade. It was pretty crude. And, yeah. I'm trying to find a date. I don't think I have a date etched in this one. What a shame. On the back? No. Anyway, this was the first clock, and I tried to diffuse the light using some pieces of laminate and stuff, and it just didn't really work out too well. And I ended up, using 3D printers and circuit boards to make a nice clock face. Anyway, that's my clock project. I hope you guys enjoyed it.